Hey, what is up? What is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zero Fats, aka Cam Fast, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. Welcome to another live stream. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight, you guys. It is about 7:52 here, 7:52 p.m. in the great state of Ohio, and I'm trying this for the second time. I actually tried this a little bit earlier, and I was at the park and I was doing a walk and I thought I'd try, but the sound didn't turn out right. I think my microphone on my headphones was busted, so it didn't turn out right. But that's okay. No big deal. We're going for part number two, take number two here. And I want to talk to you guys about launching. And it's a funny subject because, a lot of people are critical of launching. So I want to get into that. But in order for me to really get into that in a way that you might understand where I'm coming from with it, I need to tell you the story of Ronald Reed. So in order to tell you the story of Ronald Reed, I have to take you back a few years. Ronald Reed is a guy who died in June of 2014. Ronald Reed was 92 years old when he died. And he came from humble beginnings. Okay, 92 years old in 2014. He came from humble beginnings. He was the first person in his family to graduate from high school. So that's pretty cool, right? Ronald Reed was the first person in his family to graduate from high school. Another thing that's cool about Ronald Reed is he served in the military. He served in World War II. Right? And if you don't know which world war that was the one where we fought Hitler. That's right. Ronald Reed actually fought Hitler in the war. So that was pretty awesome. After the war was over, he came home. He got married, had 2 kids, and he got a job at a gas station, pumping gas. And then later on, he got another job as a janitor at JCPenney's. So those are jobs, when you think about it, when you think about those jobs of gas station attendant and janitor, it's like those aren't really very well-respected jobs. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of jobs where kids come in and they snicker at you. You could be, the guy, imagine, the guys at JCPenney's sweeping the floor as a janitor, people probably laughed at him. They probably didn't think much of him, right? So that was Ronald Reed, right? And he maintained this frugal lifestyle pretty much his entire life, right? He never spent money that much. He was very frugal. He never spent money unless he had to, His friends remember him driving a secondhand Toyota Yaris. Now, if you don't know what a Toyota Yaris is, I didn't know what it was until when I first met my wife. That was the car she wanted because you could get a brand new one for pretty cheap. It was like, I think, 10 grand to get a brand new Yaris when they first came out. So anyways, friends remember him driving a secondhand Toyota Yaris. Friends remember him using safety pins to hold his coat together. And friends remember him cutting his own firewood well into his 90s, which I think is pretty interesting. One of his friends noted that if he made $50, he would invest 40 of it. And you might wonder what I mean when I say invest 40 of it. Ronald Reed invested in the stock market. He was a stock market guy. And he was a good stock picker. And he held his stocks for a long period of time. He was a dividend stock investor for the most part. He held on to these blue chip stalwart stocks. And if you don't know what that is, basically it just means these are stocks that have been proven over the long period of time. They've been here for a while. They probably aren't going anywhere. They're just consistent money makers, right? So he invested in a lot of those. So at the time of his death, he owned at least 95 stocks, you guys. 95 stocks at the time of his death, at least. And I don't mean 95 shares. I mean 95 stocks with multiple shares in each stock, okay? Most of them, he had held for years, if not decades. He had held these stocks for decades, years and decades. had him for a long time. Okay. Now, at the time that he died in 2015, he was, in 2014, and he was 92 years old. He had amassed a fortune of $8 million. he had amassed this fortune of $8 million that nobody even knew about. Nobody really knew about it. You have to imagine a guy who went to work as a janitor at JCPenney, had safety pins in his jacket to keep his jacket together. He drove an old beat-up Yaris, and he had $8 million worth of stocks sitting around. It's funny, that was just, Ronald Read, right? He was that person. He left $1.2 million to his local library, and he left $4.8 million to Brattleboro Memorial Hospital. Not because he was a patient there, but because that's where he liked to eat breakfast. That's where he liked to hang out and eat breakfast in the morning. And he did it pretty routinely, right? And he left him almost $5 million. And then when I read that, I wondered at first, why did he leave $1.2 million to the local library? Why did he leave all that money to the library? Which the library actually invested and just left it in the stock market, and they collected the dividends, and they invested those dividends, and they used them for the library, right? Basically, the library continues to thrive off of the investments of Ronald Read years after he's gone. Pretty awesome. And you got to ask yourself, why did he donate all that money to the library? I don't know for sure why he donated all that money to the library, but I believe he donated all that money to the library because he probably learned how to invest in the stock market with that library. That's probably what happened. I believe that's probably what happened. And he paid them back. So interesting. What does that have to do with launching? Why am I telling you the story of Ronald Read? Ronald Read is a guy who most of the world had pegged wrong. Most of the world saw a janitor, but in fact, they were looking at a millionaire. Most of the world saw a gas station attendant, but in fact, they were looking at a very, very successful individual. They just didn't see it. So what does that have to do with launching? Here, let me get to the point of this, okay? Many of you on Facebook, you see people talking about launching products, and you see them snickering at product launchers. You see them making fun of product launchers. You see them talking about people who launch products consistently in a negative way. You see them criticizing them. Oh, all they do is launch products. Oh, let's sell a product about launching products. And you snicker about it, and you laugh about it, and you think that's stupid. Or that's not what I want to do. So here's what you need to understand about product launching. It works. Yeah, it works. That's why you see the same people popping up over and over and over again launching products. What's funny is if you stick around here long enough, you'll notice people you might see someone who has a bad launch and they got a bad taste in their mouth from it, and then they'll step away from the launch game, and then you'll see them talking negative about launching on Facebook. They'll be talking about, oh, look at these guys launching products about launching products. Whee! And then if you pay attention, you'll see them a few months later launching another product. It's amazing. Why? They do it because it works. You see people launching products because it works. What do I mean about it working? Here's what I mean. Launching product advantages. I'm going to give you some disadvantages, but let me give you some advantages first. I want you to understand why people are launching products. 1, high quality leads. High quality leads. When you launch a product, you put a giant mass of high quality leads on your list. I don't just mean like high quality leads. I'm talking about buyers. I'm talking about people who buy things on your list. So the highest of the high quality on your list, people who buy things. Number one reason people launch. In fact, I just saw someone posting the other day on Facebook. I'm not going to name any names. I don't even remember who it was, but they were saying, yeah, we haven't launched for over a year. We got away from launching for a while, but now we made a lot of money. We made more money, but now our list is kind of depleted, and now we want to get back into launching. Why? You want to get back into launching because launching is a great way to build a great list. That's why. And if you read between the lines, even though someone says they made a lot more money not launching, if you read between the lines, what you'll see is if your list is depleting, then you're not continuing to make more money. If your list is depleting, you're not continuing to make more money. Because the only reason people launch is because it works. They put lots of leads on their list and they make money. Okay? So when someone circles back around to launching, what they're really saying is what I was doing doesn't work as well as launching. That's basically what they're saying. If you see someone who's critical of launching and moves away from launching and then they circle back around to launching, it means the launching was probably working a little better than what they moved away to do. So let me talk about the positives of launching, and then let me talk about why people leave launching, okay? Positives, high quality leads, just like I told you. A burst in revenue. Like, you can produce a burst in revenue extremely quickly with a good product launch, okay? Boost in authority and status. A huge boost in authority and status when you launch a product. And now you might think, well, Cam, I don't care about a boost in authority and status. That's not what I care about. It doesn't matter if you care about it. Your customers care about it. Your potential customers care about authority and status. When they go to make buying decisions and pull out their wallet, they care about authority and status. Trust me, they absolutely do. They want to know they're learning from someone who is qualified to teach them. And they know that from authority and status. So when you launch a product, you get a huge boost of authority and status. Okay? Launching is great for networking. Launching is a way to prove that you know how to do what you say you can do. Anybody can get on Facebook and talk about a bunch of crap they read. Not anybody can go to the proving grounds, launch a product where everybody can see your numbers and knock it out of the park. Not everybody can do that. So when you do that, you just said something. You just sent a clear message to everybody that you know what you're doing. And that is great for networking and everything else. Also, with launching, you learn a lot. When you launch a product, you learn a lot. You learn about copywriting. You learn about, sales page conversions. You learn about how to make a product that people actually get value out of. You learn about how to deal with new leads on your list. You learn about customer support. You learn about JV recruitment. You learn about so many things when you launch a good product. So many things you learn. So these are positive things associated with launching products. Okay. Now let me talk about some of the bad things associated with launching products and why people do move away from launching products. Before I do, I want to ask you a question. How many successful entrepreneurs do you know who launch products? And then ask yourself this question. You don't have to answer it with me, but ask yourself, how many successful entrepreneurs do I know who launch products fairly consistently? And then how many successful entrepreneurs do I know who never launch products? Now, I guarantee you probably know more product launchers who launch consistently, and you probably know a few who never launch. A few who never launch, and you probably don't even know them on a personal basis. They're probably next level entrepreneurs. Next level entrepreneurs. And they drive their traffic with paid advertising. And then you got to ask yourself, wow, all the people who just drive traffic with paid advertising and don't launch products, like there's a lot less of them. And they seem like they're on some kind of next level. That should tell you something. It should tell you that it takes money in a fairly good amount of money to make a good amount of money with paid advertising, right? And if you follow those funnels, what you'll find is you'll find fairly high ticket products at the end of them. You'll find mid-level products and high ticket products at the end of those funnels. They can't sell low ticket products and pay for that paid advertising. They can't do it. They can't do it. So why do you know more entrepreneurs who are launching products than who are not launching products, right? Because there's a lower barrier to entry with product launching. You don't have to have any money to launch a product. You can do it for free. You just got to have time and willpower to do it, right? So why do people move away from launching? People move away from launching because, number one, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. People try to do launching once or twice and they get burned because it's hard. It's hard. They don't do a very good job at it and they get burned. Some of the areas they get burned in, generally affiliate recruitment. Affiliate recruitment. Trying to put a good. Now here's the other areas they get burned in. Usually a lot of time, first time product creators, a lot of times they don't create very good products. Their products aren't that great. They don't help that many people, They think they did a good job, but they really did not. Their sales pages usually aren't very good. Like you can copy a sales page and it can be kind of like a cookie cutter sales page. It can be like you can copy somebody else, but like someone who knows what they're doing and who has done it for a while, like the sales page has a feel to it. It has this natural feel to it. It has a heartbeat. The sales page has this organic feel to it. And you don't get that when you're first getting started. You don't get that just by copying somebody. You don't get it just with like a template. You don't get that feel, that organic feel to the sales page. It takes practice. It takes experience to get that. So you either have to pay someone to do it when you're first getting started, or you just have to do a lot of them, And it takes time. So, it takes time. So it's hard. And most people recognize that product launching is hard. That's why you don't see people launching products about product launching. Whenever I tried to launch a product about product launching, it always flops. Nobody wants to know how to launch products. And people make fun of people who launch products on Facebook. But the sad fact of the matter is, they're fools. You might as well be making fun of Ronald Reed at JCPenney's sweeping the floor because the man's a millionaire. The man died a millionaire. People launch products because it works. People are critical of launchers. I think some of that comes from envy. I think some of it's envy. I think people see other people launching products and doing very well, so then they get a little envious deep down, and they want to say something critical of it. Oh, well, that's all you do is launch products. I want to have an online business where I don't just launch products all the time. But at the heart of it, it's kind of base level envy, because the fact of the matter is product launching is a way to put leads on your list, right? And it's a good way to do it because the leads are very responsive. Product launching is stressful, right? Product launching is hard. It's stressful. You don't get tons and tons of credit because people aren't that interested in launching products. It's time consuming, right? So if you see someone launching a product that they're teaching you this business model about Facebook advertising and stuff like that, and they're teaching you this whole other business model, rest assured, if they're launching regularly, they're probably not pursuing that other business model that regularly, because launching products is time consuming. It takes time to put together a good product launch, and the bigger the product launch, probably the more time that went into it, especially if you're running affiliate traffic. Okay. Also, product launching has an inherently unpredictable nature. Now, I've been launching products for a while now, and I can pretty much consistently do 300 to 700 units. 300 to 700 units consistently. But it doesn't matter. I mean, product launching has an unpredictable nature. The reason I can push 300 to 700 units is because I have an email list. So the bigger your email list, the more units you can push predictably. But the more you rely on affiliate traffic or other forms of traffic, like the less predictable it can be. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. But the reason I started this talking about Ronald Reed is because Ronald Reed was a guy who died a multimillionaire, but everybody thought he was a guy who died a poor janitor. So what I'm saying is, when you see people on Facebook who are critical of product launchers, people who launch consistently, I really want you to try to ignore them, because they don't know what they're talking about. Absolutely, they don't know what they're talking about. The other thing I would say to you is, when you see people launching consistently, every month, every 2 months, very, very consistently, and you see them launching these products that are systems, they're like these systems that have nothing to do with launching products, like, I want you to understand, they're probably not doing that system that much, because launching products is time consuming. It takes time to put together a good product launch. And to put together a product launch machine where you're just consistently churning new products out, you don't have a lot of time for other systems. So if you buy a system off of somebody like that and you're having trouble making it work, you might reevaluate who you bought it off of. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying, are you sure that's a business model that they're even using? Is that a proven thing that they're actually using? Maybe it's not your fault it's not working. Maybe it just never really worked for anybody. You got to wonder. You kind of got to wonder. Those are the things I would say about it. Marketers are kind of a funny lot. Sometimes they'll say one thing and do another. Kind of like magicians almost. Almost like magicians, right? Like a sleight of hand kind of thing. So, what I would say is, even though you might see people on Facebook and in other places being critical of product launchers, what you have to understand is, number one, launching is hard, and they probably got burned trying to launch and failed. And two, many of them will probably circle back around to product launching, especially when you see people criticizing launchers and then circling back around to product launching in a couple months. They just got burned. They just got burned and they come back. People don't circle back around to things that don't work, okay? They circle back around to them because they work better than what they left to do. Many times that's the equivalent of coming back with your tail tucked between your legs. Many people leave the product launch game for those bright blue the bright blue skies of paid advertising. Many people do that. And then you'll see them circle back around in a couple months, coming back to product launching. You'll see it over and over and over. Many times you'll see people who do product launching retargeting on Facebook. Retargeting on Facebook. But think about this for just a second. When you retarget leads that hit a sales page and you re-advertise to those leads, if you're spending $1 in advertising and you're making $1.25 per lead on average, why are you even bother launching? Is it just because you need the affiliates to initially put those new leads on the sales page? Because if that's the case, you really only need to launch once. Then you have a nice big retargeting audience. It's kind of weird. If you got this Facebook retargeting mastered, why don't you just drive traffic to an opt-in, and retarget all those people? Why do you consistently launch every month? Consistently, over and over and over again, and then retarget? Why? Why? There's different kinds of people advertising on Facebook. I want you guys to understand. There's the kinds of people that are making money doing it, and then there's the kinds of people that are trying to experiment with it. They're trying to figure it out because they don't like what they're doing. I don't know a lot of people who launch products who love product launching. I don't know a lot of people who like launching products. People launch products because it works, right? Product launching is hard, and it's stressful, and it's time consuming, especially if you want to do it well and make good products. People do it because it works. So if you see people out there who are doing other things and they're preaching other things, but you keep seeing them circle back around to product launching, look, sometimes you got to look at what's working, and you got to look at what's working for other people. That's what I'd say about that. But I guess to wrap this up, because this is going on a long time, I got so much I could say about product launching. But I guess the main thing that I want to say to you guys is this. Don't be critical of product launching, okay? Because the fact of the matter is it works. You show me the thing that works just as well as product launching. That's what I challenge you. Let me know in the comment section what works as well as product launching with that kind of barrier for entry. Because I don't know of it. I don't know of it. Amazon maybe. I can make a lot of money on Amazon. It's a lot harder than product launching. A lot more physically difficult. E-commerce is okay, but nothing out there like product launching, really, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, I think that's about it, guys. It's been kind of a rant. However, I just wanted to get that message out there about product launching. There's a lot to it, probably a lot more to it than you think. Product launching really is the Ronald Reed of internet marketing. Okay, that's what I believe. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Hope you got some value out of it today. If so, leave me a like, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're live. Give me a comment. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.